Greetings. This is Justin Allen with the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. I'm sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take a measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today, we will be talking to Brad, who is a family nurse practitioner practicing in Utah. Currently, he is working for a family practice doing primary care and doing a little bit of urgent care as well. He is wanting to start an IV infusion clinic as he lives in an area that has a lot of outdoor enthusiasts and believes he has a great patient demographic at his doorsteps. But unfortunately, he is having some financial issues that are holding him back. He is looking for some guidance on how to save the money needed to start a niche side practice while avoiding debt and is needing help with his entire financial picture. Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good. Doing great.
Cool, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate you hopping on this phone call and allowing me to help you out.
Awesome. Yeah.
Cool, man.
I can't wait.
So bring me up to speed with where you are at in life. So how long have you been a nurse practitioner for? What you've been doing as a nurse practitioner. Just give me a good snapshot of just where you're at in life.
So I have been a nurse practitioner for about 2 years, mostly in the urgent care and family practice setting. Before that, I was an ER nurse for 5 years, and kind of like the treat and street model. Family practice has been a little bit of a learning curve, but yeah, I like what I do. And I'm just trying to start a side gig.
Yeah. Do you have any experience with any kind of, side gig starting a business?
Not really, no.
Okay. And have you been doing most of this primary care, family practice, urgent care? Is that pretty much what you've been doing as a nurse practitioner?
Yes, that's mostly what I've been doing as a nurse practitioner.
Mostly. Yeah. Okay. And so you're looking to start a little side hustle, but you're having some issues basically saving the money to do this.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So let's just run down your financial picture here and kind of figure out, where the holes are here and what the issue is. So about how much are you making a year, if you don't mind?
108,000.
108,000. Are there any bonuses or production or anything, or is that just a straight salary?
No, that's straight salary.
Okay. Well, first, I think that needs to be something you need to try to negotiate.
Especially on my urgent care days.
Absolutely, man. I've been working urgent care basically my entire nurse practitioner career, and I've always been paid production. And it's the only reason I even bother doing urgent care. Urgent care is such a pain in the ass. Most of those patients don't even need to be there, And so it's just, it's very frustrating. So the only way that, justifies me being there and doing it is a production-based model. So I don't understand why they're not paying you that. Is it just a flat hourly rate they're paying you?
Yes. So it's a model that family practice covers the urgent care. And so I'm part of that family practice that covers the urgent care once a week. So it's that's how their model is.
Gotcha. And so it's just tied into your salary then, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. How many hours a week are you working?
40 hours.
40. Okay. All right. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. So if I have those lean days, like on my family practice side, like those urgent care days help, kind of evens everything out.
Gotcha. So are you paid hourly then?
No, I'm paid salary. So
you're paid salary. Okay. So I'm not following you with, having a slower day in the urgent care
Well, so I'm just paid salary, but it kind of all evens, like their end of on the financial end, it all kind of evens out because I'm new to the practice. So trying to build the practice up for me, getting patients to me, having those lean days on my family practice side, doing the urgent care side helps kind of balance their books. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. But you're not being incentivized or being compensated per patient or anything like that.
Correct.
Is this practice that you're working for? Do you feel like they could pay you more? I mean, like how many patients are you seeing, a day on average here?
Recently, I've been seeing about 20, 25 on average.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah. And then urgent care days, we're starting to get out of the cold and flu season and starting to get into the injury season now.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot more like biking injuries, ankle injuries, stuff like that in urgent care.
Sure.
But at the height of COVID, I think the most I saw was 78
By yourself in one day?
by myself in one day. Yep.
Yeah. I've been there. I think my record's 90. God.
Yeah.
Awful.
That's a lot. That's a lot of patients. And just think of charting on the back end and all that.
Yeah, dude, even 60 is a lot for 12 hours for one provider.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it just is. It's absolutely ridiculous, So, I mean, overall, is this primary care clinic's financial picture pretty solid? I mean, do you feel like that they're making money?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're solid.
They're solid. Okay. So then they should be able to pay you a little bit of money. They should be able to pay you some production. I mean, I think $108,000 a year is a slap in the face, to be perfectly honest with you. You're worth a lot more than that. So I just don't know how much leverage you have here. Do you feel like you have any bargaining power, any leverage here to increase your salary?
I think I do a little bit because, for only being there, was 6 months, 7 months, I see probably the most patients out of the nurse practitioners that they do have. So I think I do have some leverage there to get me a little bit more.
So you are the most productive NP then?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. So then you definitely have leverage there. Let me ask you this. Would you rather be doing primary care or urgent care?
Urgent.
Urgent care. Is there any room there? Do you feel like that you could get in there and do like 312s or something?
There could be some wiggle room, but again, with their model, I'm always under a physician, and that physician might not want to do urgent care 3 times a week or supervise me 3 times a week because he'll have to be there as well.
They have to physically be present?
Not so much they're physically be present, but they have to be there. Well, they not be there, but
right. They have to be supervising you in rotations.
Yep.
Well, what about the other urgent care shifts? I mean, who's doing those?
So those are other family practice docs and advanced practice RNs. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Out of how many shifts of those in a week are done by NPs?
I think it's just 3 of us that are doing them out of 4.
I mean, I don't see the problem you moving in. I don't think that's going to be a barrier, man. Because I mean, they're already supervising the other ones anyways, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I think that maybe, I think that you have a little bit more wiggle room for production-based model stuff with an urgent care. I don't know, it might be a conversation to go have with them and ask them, hey, listen, can I do, 3 urgent care shifts? You guys pay me strictly production and, I'll sit here and see as many patients as you want. And then that way it offloads the other NPs. They can focus on primary care or whatever. Like, is that something that's possible?
That is something possible. I know some of the physicians do not like their urgent care days, so I'd be more than happy, but it's all in the physician's hands.
Yeah. So then maybe just talk to management or the owner or whoever and have this conversation, see if you can do that. Be like, hey, listen, I want to work on an RVU production model. You pay me based off who I see. If it's a slow day, you don't pay me. If it's a busy day, you pay me. Okay. I mean, that's kind of the pros and cons of being on that kind of model, but I'll tell you, it always pays off to be on production. You will make more money. You'll make a lot more money. Okay. Yeah. Slow days aren't really a big deal. It might be something worthwhile because, you're never going to be able to save money. You're never going to be able to get out of debt. You're never going to be able to improve your financial situation unless you improve the cash flow into, your bank account. I mean, you need money. And so one issue here that I'm seeing is that you're being way underpaid. I mean, you just are. I mean, $108,000 a year is good money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, most people in this country would love to make $108,000 a year, but for what you're doing, you're worth more than that. So I seriously think that's this is the foundation of maybe your financial issue here is that you're just not making enough money. So I think that you can make a lot more. I mean, you're working 5 days a week. This place is stealing 5 days of your life every single week. And so, you should be able to make a lot more than that. I'm going to give you perspective in my situation when I was working in urgent care. Like I said, I've worked urgent care pretty much my entire nurse practitioner career. For a very first year, I was paid production. I made $140,000 and that was working 7 on, 7 off. Right. So, I mean, I had 2 weeks off a month. And so I was making $140,000. They capped my salary at 140. So even though I was seeing patients and producing, they capped me at 140. I said, screw this. I left, sick of that. And so I went to another urgent care that, I had to move basically for this, but I went to another urgent care that didn't have a cap whatsoever. I was able to almost clear 200,000 being a production-based model, only working 3 days a week, 3/12. That's it, making 200,000 being on a production-based model. Yeah. I think that, if you can get the docs out of there because they don't want to do it, they're already paying them more than they pay you. So I don't see an issue, man. I think you should be able to maybe negotiate that or negotiate a higher salary. When you go in here and negotiate this, you need to present numbers. And so you need to ask the practice manager, hey, listen, I want to see my numbers because you guys aren't paying me enough. And so I just want to see my numbers. And so you need to look at the numbers, be like, hey, listen, this is what I'm producing. And I really feel like I deserve this because I'm working my ass off.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So anyways, that's going to be my first piece of advice for you is that try to get some more money coming in. Are there any other jobs in your area?
Shoot, none of them that are part-time. It's kind of, market saturated. So
it is. Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah. It's everywhere. It's saturated. So it's hard to get a part-time gig. So
is a full-time job possible? Are there any full-time jobs?
No, not really. I'm always looking around here and there, but yeah, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah, there's just a few pockets left in this country where there's actually decent jobs. It's really it's a damn shame, but it is what it is. They keep pumping them out. So what do you do? Okay. So anyways, I'd say maybe just try to focus on that though. Maybe see if you can get a little bit of a raise, even $10,000 or $20,000 or just being straight production, man. There's an article on the Elite NP website. I can email it to you. I don't know if you've read it or not. It's basically goes over the various production models available for providers. So if you want that, I can email that to you when we're done. That way you kind of just have a general understanding of it. Okay. So then the second tier here is your expenses. So you're living paycheck to paycheck at this point.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Paycheck to paycheck. All right. Walk me through your expenses here, man. You're making, a 6-figure salary. Well, before we jump into that though, is your wife, is she bringing in any money or are you the sole breadwinner here?
I'm the sole breadwinner.
Sole breadwinner. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming she stays at home, watches the kids and does all that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Walk me through your expenses, man. Where's all this money going?
So we got 2 car payments. That's one. So that's about $900 a month for both cars. We got rent. So it's about $1,500 a month for that, which in this area is outstandingly good for how big of a house we have. Yeah.
Dude, honestly, $1,500 a month is pretty much good anywhere in the country anymore.
But yeah. That's why might as well rent and try to save. Let's see, groceries, that's $300 a month.
That's it?
Well, not $300 a month, probably $300 a paycheck. So about
600 or so. Okay.
Yeah. And then we got like gas, utilities. Shoot, that's another like 200. Phones, another 200. So yeah, about each paycheck, there's not a whole lot left over.
So I just calculated this out, man. That's $3,400 a month. Each one of your paychecks should be what? After taxes and everything's all said and done, what about 2,200?
It's 29 actually.
29. Oh, okay. So you're bringing in almost $6,000. I'm calculating out 3,400. So where's the other money going?
Exactly. I don't know.
You don't know. Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. It's going on.
Exactly.
It's going to bullshit, man. You guys are just spending money to spend money. Yeah, man. You're gonna need a budget or something here, dude. Did you read this week's financial tip? It pretty much applies straight to you.
Yes, I did. I can't remember it, but I did. I got an email and I read it.
Yeah. So basically, it talks about having a budget, accounting for your expenses, basically. So yeah, I think you guys just need to be a little bit more accountable for your expenses. So do you have any clue where some of this money's coming? It looks like that you're bleeding $2,500 to $3,000 a month here. That's a lot of money, man.
Oh, it's going to, so some of it is going to like recreation, like kids activities, going out to eat, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Oh yeah. Right. Like my daughter has like dance, my son has bouldering and mountain biking through the recreational center here. So a lot of it's going to like recreational things.
Okay. Going out to eat, man, is a really, really big expense, especially if you have a family. Can you guys not cut that out?
Oh yeah, we can cut that out.
Okay. that would probably save you. How often do you guys go out to eat?
Oh, probably once or twice a week.
Oh, geez. Dude, you're probably spending easily $600-$700 a month on going out to eat. Easy. Yeah. I think you might need to cut that out, man. That's a big expense, if you really, really want to get a side practice up and running and avoid, getting into debt to do so, you only have to cut back on this for just 6 to 7 months. Not long,
Oh yeah. That's doable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kids' activities and stuff, I understand that. I mean, I get that. I mean, you want them to grow and stuff. So, you don't want to cut that out if you can afford to. So, yeah, I think that you guys need to literally just get your credit card statements out from last month or bank statements or whatever. And you guys need to go line by line and account for every single expense that you have. Be like, what was this $100 purchase from Amazon? Do you even remember? Because if you don't remember, it probably wasn't that important.
No. Exactly.
Like, I think you guys just need to sit down and spend a couple hours and just going through your expenses, for the last few months, line by line. It's the only way, man. You got to get these expenses under control. You have to.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Yeah. So increasing income and getting these expenses under control. Now, do you have any savings? Do you have anything going on here?
No. But the good thing about this practice I'm working with is that, so once I have a year, which it's coming up in May, we'll have a year there, they'll start putting quite a bit of money into retirement, like 10 grand a year.
So they're going to basically just put 10,000 into your 401k a year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's pretty good.
That's just them. Like, that's not my contribution at all.
That's pretty solid. That's a pretty solid benefit.
Yeah. So like with that, like that's kind of like I want to kind of stick around, stay around.
Yeah. But dude, it's only $10,000, man.
Right. But it's 10 grand that it's not mine that they're investing.
Sure.
So, and then on top of that, if I get everything else under control, I can start stacking away some money for the future. But
right. Dude, listen, when you start a business or you're on like a production model or something like that, staying somewhere just for $10,000 a year in retirement contributions. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket, dude, when you could be making $200,000. You're not going to give a shit about $10,000.
Right.
Just to stick around and be paid less. I mean, that's a tax write-off for them. That's why they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just lowers their taxable income so the owner of practice can pay less.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But anyways, though, do you have a 401k right now?
Not right now. No.
Okay. How old are you?
40.
Oh boy, we got some work.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah, we got some work here. Okay. We got to get you some money here. And then what's your debt? What's your debt load? What's that looking like?
Student loans. Do you want to start there?
Let's just start student loans, man.
All right. So student loans about 120.
Okay.
And then
credit cards, all that stuff.
Credit cards. So credit cards is maybe 4,000 credit card. Like we don't have much there. Yeah. But it's probably the vehicles. That's around almost 36,000.
That's not terrible.
But with all that combined, like with the student loans and the
I mean, you have over $150,000 in debt. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's looking pretty
grim.
Pretty grim from that aspect.
Right. Okay, dude. The only way we're fixing this, man, is you got to start a business, dude. It has the highest upside for what a nurse practitioner can do to increase their income. I mean, it really is the only way a nurse practitioner can truly make what they're worth. I mean, there are a few outliers out there. I was making $200,000 a year working for an urgent care. I was doing pretty well. There's a couple other MPs that do really well too, but those are outliers. So for the vast majority of nurse practitioners, a business will have the highest return on investment than anything else you could do. More than picking up shifts, more than getting part-time jobs, anything. And so, your debt and all this stuff, paying that stuff off is something that you should do, but I don't feel like that should be your focus right now. I think your focus needs to be getting your expenses under control and increasing your income. Increasing your income is literally the foundation of it all. We got to get you some more money. So this IV infusion clinic, let's talk about this for a second. So I know you sound pretty confident that you're in a good market for this. So tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I'm in a pretty good area. I have near Zion National Park that has like more than 3 million visitors a year.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of them are coming off the trail and wanting some hydration.
Yeah.
So that is one area, but like also here in the little metropolitan area I'm at, like, Ironman World Championships are coming. So that's like huge target rich environment right there. Because everybody's going to either want IVs before the race or after the race. And then even during like the games, you can just get your name out there. So like when they come back next year or do the St. George Ironman or whatever, they can come and see me. So they know. So it'd be good to get up and running and out there in time for the race. So
that's that event only happens, once a year or whatever. So you can't gamble on that.
Yeah, I won't gamble on that, but it's good name recognition and all that other kind of
absolutely. Sure.
Good stuff. And that's like low. I mean, for marketing value, you can't beat that.
No, you can't. Now, what about just routine day to day? Remember, you want recurrent patients coming in. You want a solid patient base that's going to be seeing you regularly. And so, I mean, you're in more of a tourist kind of city, I suppose, where there's a lot of, people coming in certain times of the year and that sort of stuff. While that will increase your revenue during those times, where's the money coming from during those off times? So it's kind of like the same thing of owning like a short-term vacation rental. Sure, half the year is great. The other half of the year, it's okay, And so what about those times when, you don't have all these outdoor enthusiasts needing IV hydration, like January, wintertime or something? Like, have you put some thought into that?
So, yeah, I mean, there is a lot of money coming into the area from out of state. And there's some people that do have some expendable income that would love to get some hydration done. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I don't want you to pigeonhole here on just IV infusion, though. I mean, I really feel like, if you're going to spend the money on opening an office and furnishing it and doing all this stuff, I really feel like that maybe there could be some room for some additional revenue streams here outside of just IV infusion. I think that, HRT, weight loss, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's where I want to start is the IV and then kind of build other practice lines. But that's going to be bread and butter until I can get things rolling and turn a good profit.
Yeah. Okay. So then if you're confident there's a market for it, a year-round market with, some ups and downs depending on the time of year and the season and stuff, then, your area better than anyone else. So I say go for it. What's stopping you here? And it sounds like you just don't have enough money to get started. And so if you cut out, let's just say going out to eat, and you got your expenses under control, there's really no reason. You're bringing in almost $6,000 a month after taxes. There's no reason why you can't put aside $500 to $1,000 a month and save that up for 6 months, because you only need $5,000 to get something like this started.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. These things are super cheap to start. I started my men's health clinic for like $5,000 or something. It was nothing. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and then other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode.
So I also do a little bit of medical cannabis on the side already, what I'm doing now. And the people that have the lease on the building says I can go in there and do my thing for nothing, pretty much. So I already have like a brick and mortar place already. I just need to get furniture and stuff up and running from there. So pretty sure we'll probably come to an agreement where I pay some of the rent because for my time there, but I can always cross that bridge when I get there.
Now, tell me a little bit about this. You're doing some medical cannabis evaluations on the side. So you're just doing this as like a 1099 for someone else or something?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Are they the only show in town?
No, there's some others, but but there's not very many in town.
You guys stay busy?
No, I wouldn't say busy. Like I work maybe every other Saturday.
How many patients do you see on that one day?
Probably 10.
And they're paying what, $100 a pop?
They're paying about 220.
220. Okay, so you make this little business.
Well, then I get 150 of that. So
so you're walking away with $1,500.
Yeah. Well, I don't get paid per patient. I get paid per hour.
And how long are you there for?
4 hours. So I make about $600.
$600.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so they are making quite a bit of money off you.
Like I said, they're paying the rent for that building and their employees.
Employees. You don't need an employee for medical cannabis. I pretty much do it by myself. It's the easiest thing in the world. I mean, if you know how to do that, I'm not saying that, you go start a medical cannabis clinic or something, but I mean, you know how easy it is. I mean, yes, $2,200 could be all yours.
True. Well, that's the thing. If I'm good at these guys, they might let me in this building and I can get this IV infusions up and running. Then I can get, I can get an LPN or a EMT to like be there all the time doing this stuff.
Right.
So I'm making passive income.
Sure. But the IV infusion clinic that you're doing out of a medical cannabis clinic, I mean, is there like medical cannabis stuff all over the place? Is there like a marijuana leaf out on the sign? Like,
yes and no. So this is the funny part is that pharmacy or dispensary is right next door.
right.
So
I don't know, man. That might throw off some of these people,
exactly. It depends. So
yeah, this might throw off some people, man. I mean, you're talking about a completely different demographic of patients. Medical cannabis patients and people who are going to go run an Ironman, dude, are totally different people.
yes, they are.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if I'm agreeing with this, man. I don't know. There's no way I would do IV infusion out of my medical cannabis clinic. There's no way I would do men's health out of it. There's no way I would do weight loss. It's a medical cannabis clinic. That's what it is. Most of my men's health patients, they have no interest in medical cannabis. They don't want to do that. They're a different breed of people,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think that you might want to maybe reconsider that. I mean, I understand that you got free rent and whatnot. Like I get that. But if you did medical cannabis yourself on the side, the $1,000 in rent somewhere for an IV clinic is not going to really be a concern of yours, especially if you're seeing 10 or 15 patients a week making, you could undercut everyone in your area and charge $150 and still be making good money, easy money. Like, I don't know what's stopping you there to just do that on your own. It's so easy, especially if you can do it in your state. Do you need a collaborator or supervisor for that?
No.
Dude, I think you might want to really consider doing that as a little side hustle, start getting some cash, start getting some money in your bank account here to then reinvest into another business. Everything I built was from medical cannabis. I literally reinvested every single dollar I made from my medical cannabis clinic. It was basically really my first real practice. I invested every single dollar of it into every one of my businesses. And I was able to stay debt free because of medical cannabis. I do it now because it's play money. I don't know, man. I think you might be sitting on an opportunity here that you might not even realize. Can you do evaluations out of dispensaries there? Do you know?
No. So legally, we're a whole separate part of the building. Like we're literally in the same building, but it's subleased differently. So it's just you recommend cards and then a week they can go to the dispensary.
Yeah, but do you know that if you can actually do evaluations out of a dispensary? Because in some states you can. Some states you can't, some states you can. Like, do you know?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check the law.
Check that. Yeah, just call the medical cannabis program and ask them, dude. They'll tell you. Like it'll take you a 5-minute call. Mm-hmm. If you can't, then you just go to other dispensaries and you tell them what you're doing and that your goal is to, provide affordable cannabis cards to the patients and charge $100, $120. You have no rent, you have nothing. You just go to the dispensary and do it. That's what I do. It's great.
Okay.
It's great. It's fantastic. I have no overhead whatsoever. I literally just go see patients and make money and leave. So it would cost you literally nothing to start that. Nothing other than some paper for some, for the forms and stuff.
Right.
Something to consider. If you can't do it out of the dispensary, then, even renting a little hole in the wall place to do it, man, and undercutting everyone would be worthwhile. There's no liability associated with this. $220 for an evaluation is a ripoff.
Yeah.
It takes you how long to do an evaluation? 15 minutes?
Yes. If that, and you're making them $220, you are almost making $1,000 an hour. How does that make you feel? No one else. Yes. You are generating $1,000 an hour. Pretty good.
Why don't you do that yourself?
I could.
You could. Absolutely, you could. And then you could use that money, to open up whatever you want. Something to consider, man. It would cost you literally a quarter of the price an IV infusion clinic would. If you can get into a dispensary, it would cost you nothing.
Right.
So I travel around my state every other week. I go to a couple dispensaries around the area that are an hour, 2 hours away. And I go there and I do evaluations. Okay. They schedule the patients for me, everything. I show up, I see the patients, I renew their cards and I issue new cards. It's a convenience for the patients and it's a convenience for the dispensary because they need someone to do this. It's rural areas where there's no other providers doing this. And so it's worth for me to go drive somewhere 2 hours and do that and make $2,000 or $3,000 in 6 hours. So I don't know, put some thought into it, man.
Okay.
Now the IV infusion clinic, like I said, I would advise not doing this out of this medical cannabis clinic, man. I wouldn't. So tell me about other retail locations in your area. Like, have you shopped around? Have you got some numbers?
I haven't shopped around. I don't have any numbers yet.
Okay. Any idea? Any clue?
Like anywhere, everything's stinking expensive right now. You get like everything's inflated. So I don't know. I'd have to shop and search and look.
Well, get used to that, man. I think that unfortunately it's here to stay. So there's no way around it.
Are
there empty spaces like when you drive around town or whatever? Do you see like empty locations at all? Or
man, I haven't really started looking. I mean, I was looking there for a little bit, but I haven't looked recently.
Okay. So then, that's gonna be step number one is take a look, around and see what's available. You could even do this mobile if you wanted to. That would save you a lot of money. Okay. and it could be a nice little profitable side gig. Mobile IV infusion is a great side gig. It really is. I mean, it's great margins. You can make decent money. You can make, a couple $100 an hour, basically, if you did it yourself. If you contract it out with an RN or an LPN or an EMT, I know EMTs in Utah can do this. Like, I know that for a fact, because I remember talking to an MP that did this in Utah, and EMTs can do it. So
awesome.
You could use an EMT, LPN, whoever, and you could set something like this up for mobile, and they go out and see the patients for you, and you just sign off on orders.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. You wouldn't really need much of a space at all. You would need just like a little hole in the wall office somewhere where you store the supplies, mix the bags, and do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And that can be just in a little shared office space or something. You know what I mean? Super cheap. So maybe consider that.
Okay.
That would be easy to do. Now, I'm going to put into perspective something real quick here. So you do mobile IV infusion. You charge $200 for, just an infusion, immune booster, Myers, whatever it is. You charge $200. You have to pay the LPN, EMT, whatever, $40 for the travel, for the IV infusion, something like that. I mean, $40 to $50 an hour for an LPN or EMT is good money, right? So it's good for them. Supplies, the cost of everything. I mean, you're looking at overhead for each infusion, probably really just depends, but anywhere between $30 to $60 on average. Right. And so now you're looking at each bag is going to cost you $70 to $80. Okay. Paying the EMT, the LPN, and the supply, and then the cost of the supplies. So that leaves you a profit of, let's just say $100, $120, right around there. Okay. It's good money. Don't get me wrong. It's good money, especially if we're not really doing much other than signing off on an order.
Right.
Now, realistically, depending on how the schedule goes, how far patients are, that kind of stuff, it's going to take 45 minutes per patient, probably, unless you were doing multiple infusions at one location. And so you're making, $100 to $150 an hour. Good money, right?
Right.
You're making $900 an hour doing medical cannabis evaluations.
Right.
$900 to $1,000 an hour. You go where the money is, brother.
Right.
Why reinvent the wheel here if you're already doing something that is, pretty damn profitable.
Right.
So again, food for thought. Yeah. But I mean, you could do both, honestly, if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you from doing both. I mean, starting an IV infusion clinic's easy. A cannabis clinic is even easier. And you already know how to do it. You've seen how it's done.
Oh, yeah. It's easy.
Right. It's easy. Like, you already know how to do it. Right. So yeah, I don't know. Food for thought there, man. I think that you might really need to put some real thought into that, because I think that could be something that could really accelerate your savings, debt pay down, and all of that.
All right.
And you could continue living the way you live. I mean, imagine if you were bringing in an extra $1,000 a week. You could easily do that doing medical cannabis. Easy. That'd be $4,000 a month. In 2 or 3 months, dude, you'd have enough money to go rent a beautiful building, IV infusion, HRT, weight loss, whatever it is you want to do in no time. It would accelerate your financial position. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I could do it. I mean, it's pretty easy. Probably the only limiting factor is you can only, as a provider here, you can only do like 275 patients max load. So on medical cannabis evaluations. So
a month or a year?
Total year. That's your patient load.
That's all you can see. So they've capped it out.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. And there's not going to be any monopolies doing it. So 275? I see. I see why they charge $220 now.
Right. Because
yeah, I can do an unlimited amount. So yeah. So 275, let's say you undercut everyone did $150. That's still $41,000 a year.
Right. So
that's $41,000 more than you have. It's a lot of money, man, to invest in other business, other businesses, paying off your debt, that sort of stuff. If you did this for 3 or 4 years, you could literally have almost all your debt paid off.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
See what I mean? Like, I think you'd be a fool not to be doing this, man.
Okay.
Take advantage of it. There's so many NPs out there in other states, man, that would kill to be able to do medical cannabis. It's so great. It's such a great little side gig.
Yeah, it is. You take that much time, and it has. Yeah,
yeah. I hear you giggling, man, because it's just so easy. There's nothing to it.
There's nothing to it. No.
There's nothing to it.
It's just if other providers just knew, they just knew.
If they just knew, it's the most easiest. It's the easiest thing in the world, and there's practically no liability with it. I even question sometimes if I should even have malpractice insurance. Like,
yeah, it's just
right. It's ridiculous. These people are already using it. They just want a card so they can do it legitimately.
Yeah.
They have a qualifying condition. It's all our job is to sign off stating that they have a qualifying condition. It's literally all you're doing.
Yep. Qualifying condition.
You show me an MRI, you have a herniated disc, you tell me you have chronic pain, you have a qualifying condition, sign off. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Anyways,
Exactly.
yeah, I'd hop on that. And then you can come up with a strategy on, what do you do with the profits? Remember, if you reinvest it back into your business, that's all tax-free money. Okay.
Right.
So think about this as well, that if you save money now, it's all going to be taxed. All right. You have to pay the taxes first, and then you're going to get the money, and then you'll save up to start, an IV infusion clinic or whatever, $5,000 or $6,000, whatever it is. That's going to be all taxed money. So it would actually take you closer to like, $7,000 or $8,000 in total income. You have to pay tax on it first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Again, you're going to accelerate this. I mean, you can depreciate that. You can write a lot of that off, but you can only write off like $5,000 the first year, and then it has to be depreciated over a couple of years. And so if you just reinvest this money right back into your business, you can take the deduction the same year. You can operate out of the same LLC for this if you wanted to. There's no reason to separate it out right now.
Right. You can just do the same LLC.
Correct. Just operate out of the same LLC. Correct. Okay. Absolutely. You can do DBAs. You can do doing business as, it's fine. Whatever. Cannabis evaluations. Just do a DBA under your LLC, something, whatever, wellness.
Okay.
I operated my medical cannabis clinic underneath the LLC I created for my opioid addiction clinic. Because my first clinic was opioid addiction. I didn't really like it, whatever. Long story short, I stopped doing it. And I just continued operating underneath that same LLC, man. I just did a doing business as.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and so
easy.
you could, super easy, man. Right. Exactly. So you have all this income coming in. You can just reinvest it right back into the business, dude. All of it. You have an awesome opportunity here, dude.
Yes, I do.
You really do. You really do. You have a great opportunity here. It'd be super easy to start. Then do the IV infusion, the wellness, all that kind of stuff. Just reinvest it right back into it.
Okay.
Yeah. And get those expenses under control.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, this took a little wild turn. I wasn't expecting to talk about medical cannabis, but okay. Yeah.
It was kind of best, doesn't it? It kind of like, I was just listening to some other of the other podcasts. It's like one went into like a deep hole into charting, and then kind of came out of that. And then it's just some of them just kind of go where they go.
Yeah. It's a third eye, man. It's just a different perspective looking in, at your situation, just determining, where's the opportunity here, right?
Right.
I think that's where the opportunity is right now for you. Look at medical cannabis for what it is, dude. It is not something that you can really scale and grow. And, it's really hard to scale and grow something like that. Look at it for what it is. Easy side money. That's all it is.
Right. Yep.
And then reinvest the money. Do not increase your expenses in your lifestyle. Be smart with it.
Right. Just reinvest it, or save it and reinvest it in the other business.
Exactly, dude. It's exactly what you need to do. Yes, absolutely. Any other questions? Anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it, man.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I hope this was helpful. Did you find some benefit out of it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Good. Well, hey, listen, I like to end the episodes with you asking me a question. So do you have any kind of question that you've always wanted to ask me, or you were curious about, or anything?
Oh man. I'm kind of going fanboy on you because I've followed you for a couple of years. Well, other than doing the Elite MP, what is your current passion right now? Like, what are you doing?
Like passion outside of work, basically?
Yeah.
Right now, man, this might sound super dorky, but arrowhead hunting.
Arrowhead hunting.
Yeah. Like super dorky. I know this is like just super nerd level, stuff right here. But yeah, like I just go like walk around. Like I have a few spots, I maybe drive a few hours away, and I just have a couple spots that I like to look for arrowheads and stuff. And I've amassed a pretty solid collection, dude.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So
like it's really cool. Like think about this, okay? You're like walking around this place in the middle of like, the desert or the forest or in an old riverbed or something. You're just walking around and you're looking and you're scraping the dirt and stuff, and you find like this arrowhead just laying there. And you're like, how long has this thing been laying here for? Like this isn't something just like 200 years old, Like, this is like an ancient artifact. And so, I've dated some of this stuff. Like I have this book, this identification book. Like I'm such a dork, man. And I've identified some of these arrowheads that I found are like 8,000 to 10,000 years old.
Wow.
Just sitting there waiting for me to find it.
Dang.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Really cool. It is cool, man. It is cool. And where you're at, dude, you can look for arrowheads too. I guarantee it.
Oh, I'm sure they're all over the place around here.
Oh, well, absolutely, man. You got to remember the climate was a lot different, 10,000 years ago. So like just go to old riverbeds and just walk around. You would be amazed with what you can find if you just look.
I might have to.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, take the kids out. They'll love it.
Arrowhead hunting.
Yeah, there you go. Again, this took a weird, crazy left turn.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. So love it.
Cool. All right. Well, you have any other questions, man?
Nah, I'm good.
Cool. All right. Well, shoot me an email, man, if you want me to maybe shoot you over a few articles that I think, that you might find helpful. And I just really appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate you talking to me, man. Like I said, I've been a fanboy for a while. It's kind of nice to sit down and chat.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure to help.
Alrighty. Okay.
All right, take care. I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation with Brad. A couple really good pearls here. So first, your expenses in your life. He is unable to get ahead because he's living paycheck to paycheck. Yes, it's an income issue, but it's also an expense issue. You need income to come in to pay your expenses, right? Obviously. But if your expenses are too high or they are even with your income, you will never, ever get ahead. Cutting out the expenses in your life is the number one way to give you an instant raise. If Brad just stopped going out to eat, he would instantly save $600 a month, probably more than that. He's got kids. He goes out a couple times a week. It's probably a lot more than that. He'd give himself an instant raise. So you got to take a look at your monthly expenses. Take a look. Where is the money going? Print out the credit card statement, go through it, get those expenses down. I have low expenses in my life. I have for a long time. Once I got them under control, my wealth started to increase. Okay, it really did. It was the number one way to do it. Now, in terms of the income, he's already been doing medical cannabis evaluations on the side. So he wants to do IV infusion, this kind of stuff. Listen, why reinvent the wheel? There's something that you already know what to do. Just do it. He is giving up a lot of money. He could be doing this himself and easily be racking in another $40,000, $50,000 a year. He's working for this other person, making this other person $900 an hour. And they are so generous to pay him $150, right? So generous. Thank you. Now, screw that, right? He could be making $900 an hour. And so can you. So just keep that in mind. Look at the numbers. How is this person capitalizing on you? This person is capitalizing on Brad. What Brad failed to do, though, was see the opportunity right in front of him. And that's what I helped him with. He has an opportunity right in front of him. So look for the opportunities in your life and look for where people are capitalizing and profiting off. If you do that, your worldview will change. You'll see opportunities present themselves and you'll see who the sharks are in your life. Hope everyone enjoyed that episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and/or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2022 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.